Okay, I'm on journal page 206, and then we'll do 207. We're going to do problems 1, 2, 4, and 5. If you do not have your journal, you can print these out, or you can just write them on a piece of paper. If at any time I'm moving too quickly for you, pause the video. The directions say estimate. Write a number model to represent the problem, then use partial quotients to solve. We're actually going to write our number model first because that will help us come up with an estimate. Number 1, there are 184 plants to put into pots. Each pot can hold 8 plants. How many pots are needed? Okay, number model with the unknown would be 184 plants divided up into 8 per pot will tell me how many pots I need. So 184 divided by 8. Estimate. Well, how about we just change that 184 to 200 and the 8 to a 10. 200 divided by 10. My original fact would be 2 divided by 1, and I know 1 can go into 2 times. I have 2 zeros minus 1 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my estimate is about 20. Now set up this division problem if you haven't already, and I want you to attempt it on your own. And then if you get stuck or you want to go over, play the video back. So 184 divided by 8. First part, 1 divided by 8. I can't do it because 1 is less than 8. So now 18 divided by 8. I'm going to write my multiples out here off to the side. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 8 more than 16, which would be 24. So it looks like I'm going to go back to this 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16, so that means 18 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 8, 16. Remember, I write it underneath the 18 because that's what I've underlined. Underneath the 4, I put a 0 for my placeholder, and whatever I do to the inside, I do to the outside. Subtract. I'm left with 24. Okay, I have to keep dividing because 24 is bigger than 8. 2 divided by 8, can't do it. 24 divided by 8. Over here where I did my multiples already, I solved that. I know 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, I'm left with 0. 0 is less than 8, so I'm done dividing. Add up the parts, and I get 23 pots. Number 2. Carpenters are installing hinges. They have 371 screws. Each hinge needs 3 screws. How many hinges can they install? So I have 371 screws divided up into 3 screws per hinge will tell me how many hinges. Number model with, my estimate. I may just change that 371 to 400 and the 3 to a 4. That way I know that my estimate is about 100. Okay? Let's actually do the work now. Again, try this on your own. Pause the video, then check back to see how you did. Okay. Start with 3 divided by 3. Well, I know that 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. I write that under here because that's what I've underlined. Under the 7 and the 1, I put my 2 zeros, and then I have to do that to the outside. Subtract, I'm left with 71, which is bigger than 3, so I have to keep dividing. Let's do the next part, 7 divided by 3. I know 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So it looks like 7 divided by 3 is just going to be 2. 3 can only go into 7 2 times without going over. 2 times 3 is 6. I write that under the 7. Put 1 0 under the 1, and whatever I do to the inside, I do to the outside. Subtract, I'm left with 11. 11 is bigger than 3, so I have to keep dividing. Okay. 1 divided by 3. I can't do it. So how about 11 divided by 3? Well, I know 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. That's too big. So 11 divided by 3 is just 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, I'm left with 2. Add up the outside, 123 hinges. And there's 2 screws left over. Now we're going to talk about remainders next week, but for now, all we're going to say is, okay, I have 123 hinges, and then there's 2 screws left. We're going to skip number 3. Let's look at number 4 on page 207. A waiter distributed 1,325 drinking straws evenly among 9 dispensers. How many straws went in each dispenser? So 1,325 divided by 9 equals the number of straws in each dispenser. Okay, an estimate. Well, maybe I want to do 1,300 divided by 10. I know that 13 divided by 1 is 13. 2 zeros minus 1 zero leaves me with 1 zero. So my estimate's about 130 straws. 1,325 divided by 9. Okay, let's start with the first part. 1 divided by 9. Can't do it. 13 divided by 9. 9 times 1 is 9. What's 9 times 2? That's right, it's 18. Too big. So 13 divided by 9 is 1 because 1 times 9 is 9. Now remember, if I was doing 13 minus 9, I would write that 9 under the 3. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I have 2 placeholders and 2 on the outside. Subtract. 5, 2, 13 minus 9 is 4. Have to divide again. 9 cannot go into 4, but I can do 42 divided by 9. So let's do our multiplication facts. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. I can keep going. 9 times 5 is 45. That's too big, so I'm going to go back to this 9 times 4. 42 divided by 9 is 4 because 4 times 9 is 36. 1 0, 1 0, subtract. I'm left with 5. I need to borrow. And 6, 65. Okay. 6 divided by 9. Can't do it because 6 is less than 9. 65 divided by 9. I have to keep going with my multiples. 9 times 6 I know is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. And that's where I'm going to stop because I know if I do 9 times 8, that's going to be too big. So 65 divided by 9 is 7. 7 times 9 is 63. Subtract, I'm left with 2. 2 is less than 9, so I know I'm done dividing. Add up the outside, I get 147 straws with 2 straws left over. And the last one we're going to do today, the local movie theater sold $2,496 worth of tickets on Friday night. If each ticket sold cost $8, how many tickets were sold? So I have 2,496 divided by 8 equals the number of tickets. Okay, an estimate. I could do 24 divided by 8. I know that's 3. Or maybe I'm just going to round the 2,496 to 2,500, the 8 to 10, and get 250 tickets. Now, let's actually divide. Okay, I'm going to start with 2 divided by 8. Can't do it. So how about 24 divided by 8? 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is, 24. So 24 divided by 8 is 3, because 3 times 8 is 24. I need to fill in with 2 zeros on the inside, 2 zeros on the outside. Subtract 96. Okay, how about 9 divided by 8? I can do that. 8 can go into 9 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Fill in with a 0 on the inside and the outside. Subtract, I'm left with 16, which is bigger than 8. I have to divide again. 1 divided by 8. Can't do it. 16 divided by 8. Well, right here, I know that 16 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 8, 16. 0 is left, so I know I'm done dividing. Add up the outside. 312 tickets. How many dollars are left over? $0 are left over. And that's where we'll stop today.